Judge Thomas Kincaid ran his courtroom like a machine. Case after case, he prided himself on quick, decisive rulings. That morning's docket was nothing unusual: traffic violations, minor offenses, procedural hearings. Until case number 17, Ava Mirza, charged with using a prohibited handheld device while driving through a classified federal zone. She looked calm, too calm, professional, composed, not at all defensive. "Your Honor," she began, "I was responding to a system alert from Federal Tech Command. It was a real-time incident." Kincaid raised a hand. "Ma'am, I've heard every excuse. Federal this, national emergency that. If you can't prove it on the spot, the law applies." Without further discussion, he issued a $750 fine and mandatory safety training. Ava simply nodded and said, "Understood, Your Honor." Then she walked out. No protest, no attitude, just silence. Something about her stuck with him. She hadn't reacted like someone caught lying. No defensiveness, no anger. She acted like someone focused, someone doing her job. Still, he shrugged it off. Probably a tech contractor trying to bluff her way out. He moved on. That afternoon, he attended a high-level cybersecurity summit as part of a judicial oversight committee. As names flashed on the screen, one stopped him cold. Dr. Ava Mirza, Acting Director, Critical Systems Continuity, Federal, Tech Command. A spotlight hit the stage. She walked out. The same woman he had fined that morning. The room fell silent as Dr. Mirza began her talk. She explained how, just hours earlier, the East Coast had narrowly avoided a massive infrastructure collapse. A cyber attack had targeted power grids, hospital networks, and air traffic systems, forcing her team into live mobile intervention. "I was en route to a secure relay site," she explained. "The only way to respond fast enough was through a direct quantum command device, hence the handheld. The command couldn't wait." Judge Kincaid's blood ran cold. He hadn't fined a distracted driver. He had fined the person actively protecting the nation, and he hadn't let her explain. Back at his office, Kincaid requested the case file. He flipped through the documents and found something buried near the bottom. Federal Emergency Response Exemption Form 47B. It had been submitted, but a clerical error had pushed it to the back. No one flagged it for him. And worse, he hadn't even given her the chance to speak. His courtroom had made a mistake, and it was his name on the ruling. He reached out to a Homeland Security contact. Dr. Mirza was operating under full clearance, the official confirmed. Her actions were lawful. Your ruling wasn't. Kincaid sat in his chambers late into the night, robe draped over a chair, heart heavy. His courtroom had always been his pride, a place of swift, clean justice. But now that pride felt more like arrogance. Ava Mirza had carried out her duty under pressure. She hadn't asked for favors. She hadn't demanded recognition. She had stayed silent even as she was wrongly penalized. That kind of strength deserved more than dismissal. It deserved acknowledgement, and he couldn't let this go unanswered. The next morning, Judge Kincaid made a rare move. He reopened her case himself. Reporters began to file into the courtroom. Ava returned, quiet and composed once again. Standing before a packed room, Kincaid said, "This court made a grave error. Dr. Mirza was not in violation of the law. She was acting in defense of this country under federal authority. Her device use was not a distraction. It was a mission-critical command." He vacated the fine, cleared her record. Then he paused. "And I offer my apology, not just as a judge, but as a citizen." As cameras flashed and people murmured, Ava did not smile. She did not scold. She simply nodded. "You acted on what you knew at the time," she said. "But next time, listen a little longer." It wasn't sarcasm. It wasn't revenge. It was the kind of calm that comes from someone who's used to cleaning up problems most people never know exist, and that, more than anything, made Kincaid feel small. Outside, a reporter caught up with Ava. "Why didn't you say who you were?" She replied, "Because if I have to tell someone I matter for them to listen, I probably don't want them listening." Back in his chambers, Judge Kincaid watched the interview on his monitor. He turned down the volume and stared at his reflection in the screen. For the first time in his career, he realized, being the one who gives the orders doesn't always mean you're the one who understands the mission, and maybe, just maybe, the robe wasn't what made him powerful. Learning from his mistake did.